Welcome to the Uncanny Valley podcast, where we take complex sources and extract the most important nuggets of knowledge or insight, providing you with a shortcut to being well informed. Today, we're delving into the incredibly adaptable world of the Cypher System Rulebook. And this isn't just about understanding a game system, is it? It's more like seeing a philosophy for storytelling, for character creation, one that really empowers you, the player, and the game master. Our mission today is to sort of unpack how this system offers such unparalleled flexibility, how one framework can power stories across, well, countless genres, from high fantasy all the way to hard science fiction.
It's really remarkable, yeah. What's fascinating here is how the Cypher system genuinely puts narrative first. It's designed, as a set of tools, not rigid constraints. And that allows for really organic storytelling and, I think, deep character investment for you playing it.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. The absolute core of character creation, the stats, the fundamental statistics that define who your character is. The Cypher system streamlines this beautifully, doesn't it? It kind of boils down the essence of a character's raw capabilities into just three core stats. First up, we have might. Now, it's easy to assume might just means, brute strength, how strong you are. But maybe you could elaborate on just how comprehensive might truly is in this system.
Absolutely, yeah. Might is far more than just how much you can lift or punch. It's really an umbrella term. It covers not just raw strength, but also your character's endurance, their constitution, overall hardiness, physical prowess in general.
Okay.
Think of it as your character's physical resilience and raw power, their ability to withstand punishment, exert force. What's really crucial here, I think, is that it's an absolute measurement. It's not relative to size or a species.
Ah, right.
So an elephant will inherently have more might than even the mightiest tiger, and that tiger, in turn, has more might than the mightiest rat, and that rat has more might than the mightiest spider.
I see. So it's a universal scale.
Exactly. It's about a universal scale of physical capability within the game's world. And this elegant simplicity isn't just about ease of use. It's, I think, a profound design choice. It pushes players to think narratively about their character's capabilities rather than just optimizing, a dozen different numbers.
Mm-hmm. Avoids that stat bloat you see elsewhere.
Right. Keeps the focus firmly on story and interpretation at the table.
Then there's speed. This one seems a bit more straightforward. It governs your character's overall swiftness, agility, quickness.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not just how fast you run, though. It's also how nimble you are, how quickly you react, your general physical grace, reflexes.
Got it. And finally, intellect. Now, this one seems really broad. How does Cypher manage to capture such a wide range of mental and social capabilities under one stat without it feeling, too vague?
That's a great question. And it's another testament to the system's clever design, really. Intellect is the broadest of the three, yeah. But it's precisely that breadth that makes it so flexible and, I find, intuitive in play. It covers intelligence, obviously, but also cunning, charisma, general mental acuity.
Okay, so persuasion, resisting mental effects.
Exactly. Your character's wit for problem solving, their reasoning ability, their charm in social situations, persuading NPCs, their sheer mental fortitude against psychic attacks.
Huh?
By grouping these together, the system encourages you to think about your character's mental faculties holistically, and it streamlines the whole process. Less time digging through rules, more time thinking about what your character would do.
So yeah, these aren't just numbers on a sheet. They're broad categories capturing the essence of your character's capabilities. Remarkably streamlined, but with surprising depth.
Okay, building on those core stats, Cypher introduces three key concepts that really drive the action: cools, edge, and effort. For someone new to this, what's the fundamental shift in, let's say, character agency that these three mechanics unlock? Well, they fundamentally shift how you interact with risk and reward. It's huge. They move beyond just, leaving things to chance. They empower you to make meaningful strategic choices right in the heat of the moment. Your pool that represents the raw, innate ability of a stat. It's the number signifying your character's baseline capability. And critically, it's also the points you spend to activate abilities or, crucially, apply effort.
Right, so it's a resource you manage.
Exactly. Most characters, especially starting out, have pools in the average range, maybe 9 to 12 points. Then there's edge. Edge is, well, it's like knowing how to effectively use what you have, an inherent knack or efficiency in that stat.
Okay.
Crucially, edge reduces the cost of applying effort. Let's say you have a speed edge of 2. Normally, applying 1 level of effort to a speed cast costs 3 points from your speed pool. But with that edge of 2, the cost drops to just 1 point. 3 minus 2.
Ah, okay, so it makes you more efficient at pushing your limits.
Precisely. And that brings us to effort. Effort is a deliberate choice you make to increase your chance of success when a task truly matters. It's you, the player, deciding, okay, this moment counts, I'm pushing it.
How does that work mechanically?
To apply one level of effort, you typically spend 3 points from the relevant stat pool that's for beginning characters. It can change later. And spending that effort eases the task by 1 step.
Eases?
Right. To ease a task means reducing its difficulty by 1 step, making it easier. The opposite is hindered, which increases difficulty by 1 step. But here's the critical rule. The decision to apply effort. You must make it before you roll the die.
Oh, okay. No takebacks after a bad roll.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't see a bad roll and then decide to push harder. It's a commitment. Adds this layer of tension and satisfaction, too, when it pays off. It makes you feel really connected to your character's successes and failures.
Yeah, I can see that. It provides a clear, player-driven way to influence outcomes. It's not just random chance. It's your strategic decision to invest your character's resources when it counts, directly influencing where the story goes.
Okay, now we get to the really interesting part, I think. How you define your character's unique identity beyond just the raw stats. The Cypher system uses that wonderful phrase, I am an adjective, noun, who verbs.
It's such a great, concise summary.
It really is. And each part of that sentence maps directly to a character creation element. Let's start with the noun, your character type. The core rulebook gives us 4. Warrior, Adept, Explorer, and Speaker. Now, these sound like fairly standard fantasy archetypes, but how does this system make them so versatile for any setting? Is there a risk they feel too similar or maybe dilute traditional roles if anything can be reflavored?
That's a perceptive question. The genius lies in their broad brushstrokes, I think. These types aren't rigid classes like you find elsewhere with strict spell lists or weapon lists. They're more like frameworks for broad categories of abilities.
So a warrior isn't just a fantasy knight in shining armor. That same warrior type could easily be reimagined as, say, a tough cop on the streets of modern London.
Right.
Or even a grizzled cybernetic veteran fighting in some far future war. It's not just a costume change. It's a fundamental shift in how their abilities manifest. A warrior cop might have abilities focused on disarming, subduing, tactical positioning in cities.
Whereas the knight focuses on heavy armor, charges.
Exactly. Or leading charges, mounted combat. The core warrior identity focusing on direct confrontation remains, but the flavor, the how and why, changes dramatically. Similarly, an explorer isn't just a dungeon delver. They could be a brilliant academic uncovering ancient secrets in dusty libraries, or a trailblazing adventurer charting unknown planets.
Right.
And the system even makes it simple to change the magic flavor of an adept or speaker. You can easily call it psionics or mutant powers or weird science to fit the setting.
So it's inherently adaptable.
Very much so. Without sacrificing uniqueness, because the descriptors and foci, which we'll get to, are what really differentiate characters within those types.
Okay, let's talk about the adjective then, your descriptor. This really colors your character's core identity, doesn't it? It places them in their initial situation, maybe gives them motivation right out of the gate.
Absolutely. And they're not just cosmetic. They often come with mechanical benefits and drawbacks. They create instant narrative hooks.
Let's maybe look at some examples, see how they work in practice.
Good idea. They really show how these descriptors don't just assign numbers. They instantly create compelling narrative hooks and personality quirks for you to explore. They invite you to think about why your character is the way they are.
Okay, so take tumultuous. This gives you a big boost, +4 to your speed pool, and training in intellect defense. Nice. But it also adds a chaotic element. Once per 10-hour recovery, you can reroll any die roll. But if you do, the GM will introduce a GM intrusion.
Right. Application. We'll dig into those more later. But yeah, there's always a cost, often with an XP reward, though.
And the descriptor notes your body is worn from occasional excesses, so your might defense is hindered. Fast, mentally sharp, but maybe a bit fragile and prone to chaos.
Exactly. It paints the picture immediately.
Or how about clumsy? This one has a surprising twist.
Yeah, this is a great example of turning a weakness into a strength.
You get -2 speed pool, which makes sense, but you gain +2, might pool maybe thicker muscled.
Could be, yeah. Or just generally more robust.
And here's the kicker.
Yeah.
You're trained in pleasant social interactions if you use a self-deprecating manner.
Right. Your awkwardness becomes charming. You disarm people with humor about your own clumsiness.
I remember seeing that in play once. The clumsy character didn't just fail a roll, they tripped and accidentally activated a secret door. Turned a failure into a narrative win. Hilarious.
That's perfect Cypher System play right there.
Okay, what about learn it? Seems straightforward.
Pretty much. +2 intellect pool. Training in 3 knowledge areas. Ideal for scholars, researchers. The narrative trade-off. An inability in social graces. So tasks involving charm, persuasion, etiquette are hindered. Brilliant, but maybe awkward.
Right. Instantly get that image. Impulsive, gets characters into trouble, but maybe prevents small issues from escalating because they just jump in.
Exactly. Proactive, maybe reckless, always dealing with problems head-on.
Honorable. Trustworthy, fair, offers quarter in combat. It's a code they live by.
Guides their actions, not just a personality trait.
And mysterious. Secretive, maybe, but that secrecy makes them resourceful. Always seems to have something hidden.
Yeah, it implies hidden depths, unexpected skills, or connections. It's really remarkable how these descriptors, just one word, create such compelling hooks. They challenge you to embrace flaws as much as strengths, leads to dynamic characters right from the start.
Absolutely. Okay, last part of the sentence. The verb, your focus. This defines what your character does best, right? Gives them specific, unique abilities.
Exactly. This is where the specialization comes in. It sets your character apart.
And the system guides this with focus categories, like exploration, combat, social stuff.
Right. Exploration, energy manipulation, combat, social, movement. These categories help GMs and players choose abilities, or even design new foci.
Ah, so you can create new foci.
Oh yeah. The rulebook provides detailed guidelines for GMs to do just that. It's not just a suggestion, it's a robust framework. It helps ensure balance between offensive, defensive, utility abilities, all tied to a chosen theme.
So if you wanted a fire user,
You could call the focus Bears a Halo of Fire, or maybe something more dramatic like Stokes the Flames of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
The name itself suggests the abilities.
wow, that means the possibilities are almost endless, tailored to your specific campaign.
Exactly. Let's look at some diverse examples from the book.
Okay, conducts weird science. That sounds fun. Could be a respected scientist or a fringe mad scientist.
Both. Skilled in unique discoveries, maybe ethically questionable, maybe just...
You be masters weaponry. Straightforward. You pick a weapon type and become amazing with it.
simple but effective for combat focus.
Then you have things like explores dark places or operates undercover. Clearly for investigation or stealth characters. Guile. Infiltration.
Yeah. Defines their core activity.
A more fantastical one. Dances with dark matter. Manipulating shadow. Dark energy.
Yeah, opens up really unique offensive and defensive options based on manipulating darkness or esoteric energies.
Okay, here's one I want to unpack. Entertains, this isn't just singing songs, is it? It grants abilities like levity for social tasks and inspiration.
Ah, inspiration is fantastic.
It allows allies nearby to immediately gain a recovery roll and a free action with an asset. That seems incredibly powerful for just performing. How does Cypher balance that?
That's a prime example of Cypher's genius, I think. It constantly blurs the line between narrative description and mechanical impact. Your bard isn't just singing about bravery, their song is bravery, in a very tangible, game-changing way. This direct feedback loop between story and mechanics is where the magic happens. It fosters amazing player creativity. It's balanced because these powerful effects usually cost cool points, or have limited uses per day, or might require specific circumstances. Plus, the GM always has intrusions to maintain challenge.
I see. So it's powerful, but integrated. Another one, learns quickly, adapting to bad situations, gaining skills on the fly.
Yeah, mental agility. The ability to pivot when things go wrong. Very useful. What's profound here is how these focis encourage a truly bespoke character.
Yeah.
They move beyond generic roles. You define the specific verb your character embodies, and the system gives you tailored abilities to match. It's about what you want your character to do.
It really is about tailoring expertise so precisely that they feel unique. Gives you the tools to make almost any concept work. All right, characters build. Let's turn to how the Cypher system handles the action, the ebb and flow of combat, tasks, consequences, where the mechanics really come alive. And one of the most distinctive features has to be the player roll system.
Absolutely central.
You, the player, make all the die rolls. Attacking, defending, climbing a wall, persuading a guard. It's always your d20. That puts agency squarely in your lap, right? Makes you feel responsible for your fate.
Massively so. But, it's worth asking, are there drawbacks? Do GMs ever miss rolling for their monsters?
Yeah, I wondered that.
It's a fair point. Some GMs coming from other systems might initially miss rolling attack dice for their big bad guy.
Yeah.
But the Cypher design compensates brilliantly. It frees the GM entirely to focus on narrative description during combat. They're not bogged down by their own dice. They can narrate effects, describe the monster's actions, manage the flow, paint the picture.
Ah, so it shifts the GM role more towards storyteller.
Exactly, away from just rules adjudicator, which is a huge benefit in practice, I find.
Okay. Now, the system has some interesting quirks with specific roles. A natural one. That's always bad.
Always leads to a GM intrusion, some kind of narrative complication stemming from your action. You might fumble your weapon, maybe the floor collapses slightly, maybe the enemy gets an unexpected boost. The GM decides, but it's tied to your roll.
And on the flip side, a natural 17 or 18 on an attack roll. That's good.
It is. Doesn't grant a special effect necessarily, but adds bonus damage. 1 extra point for a 17, 2 extra for an 18.
Nice little reward.
Yeah, for those really solid hits. We'll get more into intrusions and special effects later, though.
Okay. Let's talk damage and protection. Cypher keeps this really simple, avoids lots of rolls.
Very streamlined. Weapon damage is a flat number.
So a spear always does 4 points, no damage roll.
Correct. Always 4 points. Speeds up combat dramatically.
And armor works similarly, flat number reduction.
Exactly. Leather jacket might give +1 armor. You take damage, subtract your armor value. If armor reduces the damage to 0, you take nothing. Reliable defense, not random.
Okay. And beyond just taking points off your pool, there's the damage track. How does that work?
Right, it tracks your overall state. 4 states. Hale, impaired, debilitated, and dead. Hale is normal, healthy. If one of your stat pools, might, speed, or intellect hits 0, you become impaired.
Okay, so there's a consequence beyond just running out of points for effort.
Big consequence. Impaired usually means all your tasks are hindered by 1 step. If a second stat pool drops to 0, you become debilitated.
Even worse.
Much worse. Often means you can barely act. And if all 3 pools hit 0, or you suffer massive trauma, huge fall, run over by a truck, you're dead.
Ouch.
And importantly, some effects can bypass pools entirely and move you straight down the track. Critical hits, potent poisons, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. You also mentioned ambient damage, like from the environment.
Yeah, things like extreme cold, heat, radiation. Crucially, physical armor usually doesn't protect against ambient damage.
Ah, it bypasses it.
Right. Represents those pervasive non-physical threats. And this whole damage track design, it's not just for simplicity. It forces everyone to think about injuries as escalating narrative tension, not just HP ticking down. Every hit moves you closer to a genuinely dire state, makes recovery, successful dodges feel critical for survival, streamlines combat, highlights consequences.
Yeah, I like that focus. Okay, another big time saver. Distance simplified, no tape measures, no counting squares.
None needed. The system uses 4 broad narrative categories, keeps things flowing.
So, immediate is right there. Within reach, maybe 10 feet.
Yep. Target is right there.
Short is nearby, under 50 feet.
Correct. Target is close.
Long is farther off, under 100 feet.
Yeah. Target's pretty far away.
And very long is really far, under 500 feet.
Right. Target is extremely far away. Anything beyond that, you specify like a mile away.
That makes a huge difference in play, I bet. Melee is immediate, throw knife is short, bow is long.
Exactly. Less fiddling, more focusing on the action. It's about, can I reach them? Not, are they 37.5 feet away?
Keeps the narrative moving. Love it. Okay. Special effects and complications. Beyond just damage, what can happen?
Oh, a lot. Effects can blind you, deafen you, make you unable to stand, unable to breathe. Stranger effects might negate gravity for you, or increase it massively. Teleport you somewhere else, render you out of phase, mutate you physically.
Whoa.
Implant false memories, alter your brain, inflict excruciating pain. The GM adjudicates these, deciding the effect and how you might overcome it. Adds real texture to encounters.
Definitely. Now let's circle back to GM intrusions. You mentioned them earlier. The complication mechanic.
Right. Fantastic narrative device.
Yeah.
Core to the system's dynamic feel.
Yeah.
So the GM introduces an unexpected twist, a complication.
Like the floor crumbling or an enemy reinforcement arriving.
Exactly. Or maybe that natural 1 you rolled means you dropped your weapon, or the foe you hit wasn't as hurt as you thought. Maybe they regained some health. In return, the affected player immediately gets 2 XP.
Ah, the reward.
Yes. And then that player gives one of those XP to another player, saying why maybe they had a great idea, cracked a joke, saved someone.
Oh, interesting. Encourages positive interaction.
Totally. Spreads the wealth, makes complications feel less like punishment, more like rewarded plot twists.
Can you refuse an intrusion?
You can.
Yeah.
But it costs you 1 XP to do so.
Yeah.
Gives you agency even then. It makes intrusions a powerful rudder for the GM, steering the narrative gently, keeping it unpredictable rather than railroading.
Yeah, it's a way to keep things from getting too easy, create those classic heroic fiction twists, but with player buy-in through the XP.
Precisely. And on the flip side, good rolls can lead to major and minor effects.
Okay.
If you get a major success roll really high, like 17 plus in combat, or beat a task difficulty significantly, you can get a beneficial major effect.
Mm,
In combat, that might be knocking a foe down, stunning them, maybe taking an extra action yourself.
nice.
Outside combat, it's something beneficial based on the situation, climbing a cliff twice as fast, maybe. And if you get a major effect, you can choose a minor effect instead, if you prefer, giving you more control over the outcome.
Cool. Let's dig into combat dynamics a bit more. Cypher approaches it narratively, not like a strict simulation.
Very much so. For melee combat, it often assumes general melee, meaning exact positions aren't hypercritical. If your group is fighting, say, 5 goblins, any PC can probably attack any goblin in the immediate vicinity. Because in a real fight, people are constantly moving, shifting, jostling. You attack anyone within immediate range. Less grid focus, more dynamic flow.
Okay. Movement in combat.
Yeah.
Streamlined too.
Yep. A short move up to 50 feet is usually difficulty 0, routine, you just do it. A long move up to 100 feet requires a difficulty 4 speed task. But you can use skills, assets, effort to ease that. Still player control.
Ranged attacks affected by distance categories, obviously. Anything else? Environment.
Darkness hinders attacks significantly. Zero gravity makes all physical actions, including
Yeah.
attacks, hindered. Makes sense. Hard to brace yourself.
Right.
But interestingly, in 0G, weapon ranges are extended. Short range reach is long. Long reach is very long. Very long reach is maybe 1,000 feet.
Huh. Cool detail. What about vehicular combat? Car chases, starfighter dogfights?
Handled similarly, focusing on the vehicle's level and armor. Remember, in Cypher, pretty much everything creatures, objects, hazards has a level from 1 to 10. That level is its basic difficulty.
Okay.
So, in a car chase, combatants likely have cover moving fast. Attacks to disable a vehicle are based on its level. An armored car or a tank has its own level and armor rating, just like a creature. The system details targeting specific systems too, like engines or weapons, which might hinder the attack but have a bigger payoff.
So trying to shoot the engine of a fleeing spaceship would be harder than just hitting the hull.
Exactly. Imagine your little fighter attacking a massive Star Destroyer. The difficulty is based on their relative levels. But then targeting specific weak points like engines or shield generators adds complexity, maybe hinders the roll. It means skilled pilots using teamwork, applying effort, can turn an impossible shot into a difficult but achievable one. Makes those team moments really shine. Strategic decisions matter.
Nice. And finally, NPC versus PC combat. Who rolls?
Simple rule. If an NPC attacks a PC, you, the player, make a defense roll. If a PC attacks an NPC, you make the attack roll. Player always rolls against the difficulty set by the NPC's level.
And if NPCs fight each other?
GM can just decide the outcome, or, to keep players involved, designate a player to make the roll for one of the NPCs.
Keeps everyone engaged.
Yeah. It all adds up to combat. That's not just hitting things until they fall down. It's about strategic choices, using the environment, managing special effects, turning fights into narrative opportunities.
Okay, gear. Every hero needs their stuff. And in Cypher, equipment feels like more than just stats, right? It's integrated into the narrative, influences how you tackle problems.
Definitely. It's part of the character's toolkit in a very practical way.
Let's start with weapons and armor. How are weapons categorized?
3 main types: light, medium, and heavy. Light weapons do only 2 points of damage, but attacks with them are eased, they're fast, easy to use. Knives, small pistols, punches. Medium weapons are the standard. Typical damage: swords, bows, regular pistols. Heavy weapons do more damage, but attacks are hindered. They're slower, more cumbersome. Great swords, heavy crossbows, maybe big sci-fi cannons.
And there's something about being practiced.
Right. If you use a weapon you have no experience with, your attack is hindered. You need practice or maybe a skill to use it effectively without penalty.
Got it. Armor. Also light, medium, heavy.
Yep. Giving slat damage reduction. Light armor is +1, medium is +2, heavy is +3. And crucially, bonuses from different sources stack.
Ah, so you could combine different things.
Exactly. Your example. Maybe subdermal implants give +1 armor, a force field belt gives another +1, and you're wearing tough beast skin armor for +2. Total of +4 armor. Allows lots of customization.
Cool. How about paying for this stuff? Price categories.
5 broad categories: inexpensive, moderately priced, expensive, very expensive, and exorbitant. But what's expensive is all about context. That's key.
Right. A match is worthless now, priceless in the Stone Age.
Precisely. A sword might be expensive in fantasy, but maybe just a curio in the far future. Unless it's a priceless antique, then it's exorbitant again. It depends on the setting and narrative.
Does the GM track every copper piece?
Usually not for routine, inexpensive stuff. Simple meal, pen and paper. GM can just waive the cost to keep things moving. Focus on significant purchases.
Okay, now, the really iconic part of Cypher gear. Ciphers. Single-use wonders.
Exactly. Unique single-use items or abilities, giving a temporary boost or effect. They are central to the game's feel.
They sound incredibly powerful, though, almost like cheat codes. How does the system keep them balanced? Don't they trivialize challenges?
That's a great question. They are potent, yes. But the balance comes from two key things. They're single-use, and you have strict limits on how many you can carry.
Oh, the limit.
Yeah, based on your character type, you have a maximum number of ciphers you can safely carry. Try to exceed that limit. Random ciphers just disappear, vanish, poof, until you're back within your limit.
So no hoarding.
Exactly. You can't become an unstoppable force loaded with dozens of them. It forces tactical thinking. When do I use this one-shot wonder? Their fleeting nature creates those moments of desperate heroism or ingenious problem-solving. Makes each use feel really impactful.
And they have levels, right? Like monsters.
Yep. A cipher has a level, often determined randomly, like 1d6 plus 2. That level sets its power, duration, damage, difficulty to resist, keeps their potency dynamic, even a bit surprising.
Okay. And there are different types of ciphers to fit different genres.
Right. 3 main flavors. Subtle ciphers are non-physical, commonplace, non-supernatural effects.
Good for modern or horror games.
Perfect for them, where overt magic or sci-fi might break immersion. These often give boosts to edge, restore pool points, provide sudden insights or minor skill bumps. And what's cool is how you find them. Usually through significant story points, not just meditating or searching a room, keeps their acquisition narratively meaningful.
Interesting. Then manifest ciphers.
Those are your typical physical objects consumed on use. Think potion scrolls, weird gadgets that burn out.
And fantastic ciphers.
That's where things get wild. They stretch the definition of impossible. Suitable for high magic, far future sci-fi superheroes. A fantastic cipher might, animate a corpse into a zombie servant for an hour.
Whoa!
Or let you shoot a laser beam from your eyes. Or teleport across a continent. The GM decides what fits the genre's tone. That zombie cipher. Could be necromancy and fantasy, nanobots and sci-fi, a weird virus in horror. It's all about the narrative explanation.
So even a simple concept like a gas bomb cipher can be really versatile.
Hugely versatile. It highlights how the system encourages the GM to interpret effects creatively within the story, not just as static numbers. That gas bomb could be smoke, poison, corrosive acid, hallucinogen, big narrative impact from one item.
Let's look at some concrete examples from the book. Controlled blinking, level 1d6 plus 2.
Yeah, if you get hit hard enough to take damage, poof, you teleport instantly to a spot you choose within immediate range, dodging a killing blow. And your defenses are eased for a round after.
Nice escape. Curative, also level 1d6 plus 2. Simple, but useful. Restores points to your might pool equal to the cipher's level. Quick boost when you're flagging.
Okay, that gas bomb, level 1d6 plus 2, thrown short range, creates a cloud. What effects?
Random and potentially devastating. Could be thick smoke blocking sight. Could be choking gas, making victims lose actions. Corrosive gas damaging everything.
Hallucinogenic gas.
Yep. Causing visions, maybe making people turn on allies or causing amnesia. It's not just a combat tool, it's a narrative grenade. Unpredictable challenges and solutions.
Wild. Magnetic attack drill, level 1d6 plus 2.
You throw it, it drills into a target, does damage for a round. Attack is eased if the target's metal or wearing metal armor. Great against robots or knights.
Personal environment field, level 1d6 plus 2, creates an aura.
Sustains you safely for a day in harsh environments. Vacuum of space, toxic atmosphere, deep underwater, keeps you alive.
Sheen, level 1d6, coats your cells.
Right. For a week, you get +1 armor, might defense eased, protective coating. The drawback, healing is hindered while it's active, always a trade-off. And shock attack, level 1d6.
For a day, your strikes, punches, weapon hits generate a burst of electricity, adding extra electrical damage. Zap.
Yes, ciphers really do seem like game changers. Encourage tactics, create those unexpected moments of heroism or cleverness, narrative wildcards.
Okay, switching gears to the game master side. At the heart of Cypher is a unique philosophy for GMs, one that really prioritizes fluidity and narrative over rigidly sticking to every single rule.
It sounds very empowering for the GM.
It absolutely is. The core belief of the GM philosophy is profound, I think. It states that rules are your tools to tell a story, portray characters, simulate the world. They are not absolute laws. You, the GM, are the final arbiter. Your master isn't the rulebook. It's fun gameplay mixed with exciting story.
I like that. Focus on fun and story.
Exactly. The system is explicitly designed to let GMs focus on crafting compelling narratives, creating weird foes, building atmosphere. The mechanics are meant to be handled on the fly, using logic, rather than forcing you to constantly look things up or fight against the rules, like in some other systems. It frees you up for the creative stuff.
Yeah, that's where Cypher really shines, isn't it? Empowering the storyteller, less endless prep, more improvisation, prioritizing flow and engagement over getting every number perfect.
Precisely. Which leads nicely into setting difficulty. This is arguably the GM's most frequent and important mechanical task. And there's no huge, exhaustive list of difficulties for every conceivable action. That would be impossible anyway.
So the GM just makes a call.
Makes a judgment call, yeah. Based on logic, common sense, the situation, and the book explicitly says it's okay if a difficulty is slightly off. The world won't end. Keep the game moving.
What's the scale like?
It's the task difficulty table. Runs from 0 to 10. 0. Routine target number 0. Automatic success, basically. Walking across a room. 1. Simple target 3. Most people succeed most of the time. 2. Standard target 6. Typical task needing focus, usually doable. 3. Demanding target 9. Requires full attention, maybe 50-50 chance for average folks. 4. Difficult target 12. Trained people have about a 50-50 chance here. 5. Challenging target 15. Even trained people often fail this. 6. Intimidating target 18. Normal people almost never pull this off without help. And then 7 through 10 are formidable to impossible. Targets 21, 24, 27, 30.
Wait, target numbers over 20. You can't roll that on a d20. How does that work?
Good question. Those impossible difficulties, 7, 10, seem unreachable at first glance, but they become entirely possible through strategic play. Using relevant skills reduces the difficulty. Getting help or using tools assets reduces the difficulty. And crucially, applying effort reduces the difficulty. Each level of effort makes the task one step easier.
So you stack up advantages to bring that impossible target number down into the realm of the possible.
Exactly. Think of a difficulty 7 task. Most people could never do it. But it's not, like, forbidden knowledge impossible. The book uses the analogy of getting tickets for a totally sold-out concert. Seems impossible, right? But somehow, your friend manages to score a couple.
Right, through contacts, effort, luck.
That's a difficulty 7 task, made possible by skills, knowing the right person, assets, having cash ready, effort, spending hours searching. It means you can challenge players with truly epic feats, knowing they have the tools to succeed if they really commit resources.
Okay, that makes sense. What about routine actions, rolling for walking across the room?
Please don't. The advice is clear. Don't call for rolls unless there's a genuine chance of both success and failure. And failure has consequences. Keep the narrative flowing.
But intrusions can still happen.
Oh yeah, GM intrusions can still apply to routine actions to spice things up. You could trip on that rug walking up to the king if the GM thinks it makes the story more interesting right then.
Adds unpredictability.
Always. And there's another neat trick for judging difficulty. Compare the task to a creature's level.
How does that work?
If you're unsure how hard climbing a cliff face should be, you could think, this feels about as challenging as fighting a level 5 demon. So you make it a difficulty 5 task.
A bit weird, but I see how it keeps everything on the same 1-10 scale. Consistent judgment.
Exactly. It gives GMs immense freedom, trusting you to make the call, keep the game moving, focus on fun.
Let's talk more about those GM intrusions, the complication mechanic with the XP reward.
Right. Powerful, popular mechanic. GM introduces that unexpected twist. Player gets 2 XP, gives 1 XP away, acts as that narrative nudge, keeps things from getting stale or too easy, and players can refuse by paying 1 XP, maintaining agency.
It really seems like a great way to create those classic plot twists we love in stories, but with player buy-in because of the XP, makes complications feel earned almost.
Totally. It turns potential frustration into an interesting story beat with a mechanical reward.
Okay, finally for the GM section. Pacing and description. Critical for engagement, right?
Absolutely. The GM is responsible for pacing. Don't dwell on the mundane. Advance time in chunks if nothing interesting is happening. 3 weeks later, you arrive at the port. Keep the story focused.
And vary encounters, not just combat all the time.
Please. Mix combat with exploration, social interaction, investigation, puzzles. Keep it fresh. Play to different character strengths.
What about description? Any tips there?
Be precise and concise. Avoid vague terms like big or scary. Use comparisons. The tower is 5 times taller than the surrounding trees. Give concrete details. In horror, especially, sometimes less is more. Leave impressions, hint at things rather than exhaustive detail. Let the player's imaginations fill in the dread.
Good advice, and maybe the most reassuring bit for GMs. No encounter balancing needed. Seriously.
Seriously. The book is quite clear on this. Beginning characters are pretty hardy. They have pools, effort, ciphers. You're unlikely to accidentally slaughter the whole group. And the system embraces unexpected outcomes. If the players cleverly take down the main villain super quickly, great. That's part of their story now. Don't fudge it.
That must free up so much GM prep time.
Immense amounts. You can focus on creating an engaging world, cool locations, interesting NPCs, weird monsters. Not meticulously calculating combat math for every possible fight. Focus on the story.
Okay, so Cypher isn't just about the mechanics of the moment. It's clearly focused on building compelling stories and watching characters grow in meaningful ways, giving you real investment in their personal journeys.
Absolutely. Player-driven development is key.
And the currency for that growth is experience points, or XP. How do you earn them?
Primarily 2 ways, as we've touched on. First, through GM intrusions. When the GM throws in a complication, you get XP for rolling with it. Second, by accomplishing goals the player set out to achieve. Not just the GM's plot, but the character's own objectives too.
How much XP, typically?
The guideline suggests maybe 2 to 4 XP per player per session, plus maybe another 2 XP on average, between sessions for discoveries, progress on goals, things like that. It accumulates steadily.
And spending XP isn't just about getting more powerful.
Not entirely, though that's part of it. You spend XP to advance your character's tiers. Each tier unlocks new abilities, increases stats or effort, makes you generally more capable. You can also spend 4 XP anytime to gain training in a new skill you're not trained in.
Oh, okay. Direct skill improvement.
Or become specialized in a skill you are trained in, making you even better at it. But beyond raw power, XP also buys long-term benefits. This is really cool.
What kind of benefits?
Spending 3 XP lets you codify story-based elements into mechanics. Maybe you gain a permanent contact in the City Watch. Or you establish a safe house. Or you spend time researching and gain a crucial piece of information permanently. Or build a useful device that's too complex to be normal gear.
So you use XP to shape the world around your character, give narrative developments mechanical weight.
Exactly. It gives you real agency over the narrative's direction and your character's place within it.
There's also an optional rule, XP Advance, starting with XP.
Yeah, it's a neat variant. You can choose to start the game with a chunk of extra XP, say 4 XP. In exchange, you work with the GM to incorporate a significant narrative complication into your character's background right from the start.
Like what?
Maybe you want to start with a loyal robotic companion. Okay, take the XP advance, but the GM rules you have an inability in all social interactions because you relate better to machines.
Ah, a built-in flaw for an initial benefit.
Right. Lets you tailor your character precisely from day one, but embeds a narrative hook, a challenge to overcome.
Okay, one of the most powerful tools for personal narrative seems to be character arcs. These are like personal plot lines.
Exactly. Personal stories and goals driving individual character development, like subplots in a book or TV show focused on one character. And success isn't always required for the arc to progress. Simply making progress, striving towards the goal, counts as advancement.
So your personal journey weaves through the main campaign story.
Perfectly put. Let's look at some examples from the rulebook that are really well defined.
Okay. The creation arc. For inventors, artists.
Right. Focused on making something new. Magic item, painting, novel, machine, whatever fits. It has clear steps. Opening. Make a plan. Figure out what you need, how to do it. Steps. Gather materials, often involves cost. Maybe quest to find rare components. More steps. Progress. Making significant headway. Overcoming obstacles in the creation process. Climax. Completion, the big finish where your creation comes to life. Resolution. Reflecting on what you made, where you go next. A clear roadmap for a crafting character.
Nice structure. What about the learn arc? Gaining a skill.
Yeah, becoming proficient in something new. Learning a language, becoming an expert climber, mastering ancient history. Opening, focusing on the problem, identifying what you need to learn. Step, finding a teacher or teaching yourself, kicking off the process. Multiple steps. Learn, dedicated learning sessions, practice, study. Climax, master it, finally gaining that proficiency or skill. Resolution, reflecting on your new knowledge or ability.
Okay, how about overcoming loss? Rebuild, recover, restore.
For characters dealing with past trauma or loss, stolen fortune, destroyed home, ruined reputation. Opening, vow to yourself determining to get back what was lost. Steps. Work. Actively rebuilding, recovering, restoring. Making money, rebuilding the house, performing deeds to clear your name. Climax. The final act, one major task where success brings things back to how they were, or close to it. Resolution. Enjoying the return to normalcy or the new state you've achieved.
And the last one mentioned is aid a friend, helping someone else with their arc.
Yeah, this is a beautiful one for fostering teamwork and interconnected stories. If another PC takes a character arc, you can choose this arc to dedicate yourself to helping them achieve their goal. Your steps and climax mirror theirs, adapting to whatever their arc is. Your journey becomes tied to theirs.
Can you help an NPC?
Yep. Or, even though it's harder, help a friend who is unwilling or maybe even unaware you're helping them behind the scenes.
Wow. These arcs seem fantastic for providing built-in motivation, ensuring personal journeys are as rich as the main campaign.
Absolutely. They give you, the player, a structured way to weave your character's individual growth directly into the ongoing narrative. Creates deep personal stakes beyond just saving the world.
Okay, maybe the most remarkable thing about Cypher is this chameleon-like ability to adapt, seamlessly fitting into virtually any genre you can imagine. It's a real testament to the flexibility of those core mechanics.
It really is. One rulebook, endless possibilities.
Let's start with the default for many RPGs. Fantasy, high fantasy swords and sorcery. How does Cypher handle the classics?
It excels here, naturally. Your warrior is the knight, adept is the wizard, explorer the ranger, speaker the bard, or cleric. The core types fit perfectly, but that flexibility means unique spins too. A barbarian could be an explorer type with combat flavor. A cleric could be a speaker type with magic flavor focused on healing and divine pronouncements.
Right, like that battle bard speaker inspiring allies.
Exactly. The foundational rules handle knights and wizards, but also those unique concepts. Might, speed, intellect translate easily. Ciphers become potions, scrolls, magic trinkets. GM intrusions might be a dragon attack, a curse backfiring. It handles traditional archetypes robustly while allowing creative twists.
Okay, moving to science fiction. Starships, aliens, cybernetics. How does Cypher's design pools effort ciphers feel distinctly sci-fi in play? Does it avoid feeling like fantasy with lasers?
That's where the narrative explanation, the flavor, is everything, and Cypher encourages that. In sci-fi, might could be your cyber-enhanced strength. Speed, your neural-linked reflexes. Intellect, your hacking skills or xenolinguistics knowledge.
Okay.
Ciphers become single-use tech. Temporary force field, a burst of jetpack fuel, a mind-scrambling EMP grenade. Effort could be pushing your mech's reactor into the red line, or forcing a risky data spike past corporate security.
GM intrusions.
A critical system failure on your ship. An alien reveals a terrifying, unexpected biological weapon. The consequences and descriptions fit the genre. The core mechanic is the same, but its manifestation feels completely different, totally authentic to sci-fi.
The rulebook talks about crafting these settings. Tech levels, aliens.
Yeah, it gives advice. Don't reinvent the wheel, borrow ideas, use broad strokes, don't over-explain the tech unless it's crucial. It also distinguishes general sci-fi from hard sci-fi, which might avoid things like FTL travel or time travel, focusing more on near-future plausibility.
And you might face creatures like Alien Me-Go, killer war droids, or peacekeeping Ziv robots.
Exactly. Lots of sci-fi creature examples provided.
Okay, opposite end. Horror. Creating dread, terror. How does Cypher do that effectively, especially when player characters seem quite robust?
It leans into vulnerability and the unknown. Yes, PCs are hardy, but that damage track means every hit matters, moving them closer to impaired or debilitated, creating real tension. More importantly, there's an optional horror mode rule set designed specifically to escalate dread. Makes recovery harder, dangers more pervasive, maybe add sanity mechanics.
Specific horror rules.
Right. And in horror, ciphers might be double-edged swords. A desperate ritual banishes the ghost but leaves you psychically scarred. A strange artifact helps you see the invisible monster but slowly drives you mad.
Okay.
GM intrusions are brutal in horror. The monster wasn't really dead. The safe path is now blocked by something hideous. The phone line is dead. It also stresses player comfort, ensuring everyone's okay with the themes, differentiating creepy from truly horrific. And the creatures are designed for fear. Deep ones. Ghouls, the terrifying killing white light, no-pepo, shadow elves, vampires, xenoparasites, leveraging mechanics to heighten suspense.
Makes sense. Let's touch on superhero games. Huge power levels, moral choices, saving the world. How does Cypher scale up to that?
This is where Cypher's power scaling flexibility really shines. Higher tiers naturally grant more potent abilities. Foci can represent specific power sets. Plus, there's an optional rule for power shifts, representing dramatic surges in strength, speed, intelligence beyond just pool scores. Lets you model truly godlike abilities.
So you can play Superman-level characters.
You absolutely can build towards that. Here, a Cypher isn't just a gadget. It's a temporary power surge flight across the city, a devastating energy blast. Effort is pushing your powers to lift a collapsing building or outrace a nuke.
And intrusions.
Unexpected collateral damage from your fight. The villain reveals their real, even more terrifying plan, or maybe exploits your secret weakness. The system provides the scaffolding for epic feats and dramatic consequences, letting you face villains like Anathema, Dr. Dread, Magnetar, or Mr. Genocide.
Wow. Okay, quickly, what about other genres mentioned? Post-apocalyptic.
Focus on basic needs: food, water, shelter. Scavenging is key. Artifacts are working pre-disaster tech or weird cobbled-together stuff. Face mutants, zombies, desperate survivors.
Fairy tale.
Often set in modern times for that wonder mundane contrast. Artifacts have quirks, an invisible cloak that giggles, boots that cry like a baby. Dangers are whimsical but deadly. Feral trees, razor blade butterflies, cannibal bakers.
Historical.
Choose a specific period or event. Focus on historyness, evoking the feel rather than strict accuracy unless the group wants that. Tell personal stories within larger known events.
Childhood adventure, like Goonies or Stranger Things.
Exactly. Kids helping kids, mystery, wonder. Complications are things like bad dreams, bullies, finding a spooky old house.
Espionage.
Mission briefings, maintaining cover, double agents, red herrings, intrigue, suspense.
And romance.
Requires sensitivity, emotional vulnerability. Optional relationship levels rule to quantify bonds between characters, track how relationships evolve through play. It's really quite amazing.
Oh.
By focusing on those core principles, player agency, narrative first, GM empowerment, the system gains incredible strength through versatility. It becomes a robust framework for almost any story. Hashtag tag outro.
And that brings us to the end of our exploration of the Cypher System Rulebook. We've seen how its, well, intuitive mechanics, its deep customization, and that flexible GM philosophy all combined creates a truly unique storytelling engine. It really feels like a system designed to get out of the way, doesn't it? Allowing you to tell the stories you want to tell in pretty much any genre you can dream up, with characters who feel genuinely unique and personal.
Yeah, the simplicity of the core dice mechanic combined with the richness you get from descriptors and foci.
Yeah.
It means you spend more time immersed in the narrative, less time flipping through rule books.
Exactly.
The beauty really lies in that elegant simplicity, which somehow manages to provide profound depth. It encourages players and GMs to just embrace creativity, explore the story together. It trusts you to be imaginative.
So whether you're thinking about building that hardened cyber mercenary on neon streets, or maybe a diplomatic space explorer forging alliances out among the stars, or even a whimsical fairy tale hero battling, I don't know, evil gingerbread men, consider how a system like this can shape and maybe even free your own storytelling. What kind of world will you bring to life? Thank you for tuning in to the Uncanny Valley podcast. We'll catch you next time.